you guys, it's Britt. Today we're going to talk about a comment that I received from one of the fans of the Dougherty Dozen. I figured that this would be a good opportunity to talk about the issues at hand with Alicia, documenting everything with these kids, and also why I do not agree with going real life, as most of you guys understand, but we're going to talk about it. So if you're interested, please keep watching. All right, you guys, so as many of you know, I've recently started to cover a TikTok and YouTube family that goes by the name of the Dougherty Dozen. I'm becoming more familiar with Alicia and her content and the types of things that she shares that should be kept offline no matter what. And I've talked about several different concerns that I have to do with their presence online. Now, as I've said before, I do not believe that any child should have their medical records, their medications, their mental health diagnoses spread out to the internet so that it gets clicks and views. Many times what happens is the content is said, oh, it's awareness. We're doing this for awareness. We're spreading the word of, what it's like to have an autism diagnosis in the family, or what it's like to, have PTSD diagnoses with a child. I'm all here for awareness. I am, because I know that building a community of people that are going through the same things that you're going through can be really helpful. Whether it's just having someone to vent to, it might be sharing tips and hacks on how to deal with certain situations. And I think that there's value in that. But as I said, it doesn't need to be this great deal of oversharing. It doesn't need to be sharing every single diagnosis that the child or children have. It doesn't need to be sharing their family history and why they're not under the care of their parents and throwing shade at the parents, or sharing stories about these other parents who weren't in a position to take care of their own kids. It just seems like there's no reservations that family vloggers have. And whether we're talking about Alicia, the Dougherty Dozen, or we're talking about someone like 8 Passengers or the Ace family or LeBrant's, it seems like once it starts to be shared, there's no pulling it back in, because now you have the audience's attention and you want to keep them engaged. You want to retain people and you want them to continue to come back and check in and see what's going on. What do you have for us today? Because they know that you continue to share more and more and more info. And half the time what it does is it allows the audience to know the child as much as a parent would. And that is not normal. That's not normal behavior. No stranger on the internet should know just as much about your child as you do, or as, a grandparent or someone who's very close, in the family unit. The other thing that I want to talk about in this video is something that a lot of my longtime subscribers, I know that this will be not news to you guys, but let's talk about the discussion of family vloggers and talking about going real life, which I would consider to be calling DCF or Child Protective Services or filing some kind of report with law enforcement. Unfortunately, vlogging your family, there's no protections put in place. So even someone like Ren Eleanor on TikTok, which I recently heard that she was banned from TikTok for not obeying their community guidelines with the content that she was putting out. Even with a case like that, there's no protections to say this is not okay, to the point where authorities need to get involved. Unless you see, physical abuse, sexual abuse, assault on camera, on film, just, sharing details that nobody should know, that's not illegal. So, as I said many times in the past, I am not here to go real life. I think that there's there's a real meaningful conversation that needs to happen in and around family vlogging on YouTube, and influencers who are showing their children in really sexualized positions and knowing that there's scary people online and they continue to make the same content for those scary people. There is a great value in having that conversation and holding family vloggers accountable and someone speaking up. Now, I also realize that speaking up is valuable, but I don't believe that bullying people to do better is going to do anything. But I do think that if you have a logical conversation and you call some of these things out, if we're talking about a family vlogger that maybe has a little bit of self-awareness, maybe they will realize at some point in time, you know what, I am not doing this right and I should not be sharing what medications my kids are on. It's not normal. And maybe they will reel it in, because many times hearing other people's perspectives on what you're doing can help you reflect and actually come to some sort of conclusion as to why this video or this series of videos or something that you've been doing on a consistent basis is actually a problem. I know for me, there's been a couple times during my time on YouTube where I've received comments about things, and because I, do believe that I have a fair amount of self-awareness, I was able to actually reflect on those things and figure out, what am I going to do with this, and why is it that a group of people are saying the same thing? This is probably something that I should reflect on and try to figure out why it's upsetting people and figure out what I'm going to do about it. So all of that to say, the conversation is valuable, but we're not here to call CPS on people. CPS should be used for children who actually need it, and vlogging your family online is not what CPS's time, energy, resource, attention should be used on. There are actually really serious cases that they need to stay focused on, and we can have conversations online and hope that the influencer or family vlogger might take into consideration these concerns at some point in time. Many of them won't, but you never know. Some of them might at some point. If the conversation continues to grow and stays alive and well, there might be some influencer who says, I'm going to take my kids off and actually keep them off. I know that there's been a couple, Brittany and Baby said that she was going to take her kids off, and she ended up going back on her word. The Jonathan Jolie, of course, did it as well. So I'm talking about people who actually stop family vlogging. I know that for one, Sincerely Sharon, who has a commentary channel here, she stopped showing her kids online. And if there was no conversation happening about family vlogging, then maybe people just wouldn't even care. Now, since I've been covering the Dougherty Dozen, I've told you guys, I'm not going to go into it in great detail here, but their stands are one of a kind. They really remind me of the Ballinger family stands, where it's just excusing no matter what content comes out, there's an excuse for it. There is, an approval process where it's like they look at the evidence, they look at the content, and they still approve of said content. And I don't understand the logic. I don't understand how you can look at a child that is being utilized for clicks and views and say that the mother should be celebrated for sharing all of this deeply personal information. That I don't understand. Do I think that she is the worst person ever? Absolutely not. But you can be not the worst person ever and still be commentary worthy. You can be worth having a conversation about, because she is in a little bit of a different position than a lot of other families where she has 12 kids. That's a lot of kids to take care of, and that's a lot of different personalities, and that's a lot of different content that comes out published by her, showing kind of all of these kids in different age ranges and different personality types, how they react to being filmed, and how are they going to react to having all of their personal info and stories told for them before they can tell it for themselves. There's no reason why she should be throwing shade at birth mothers. She did this video, and I'm going to react to it in a separate video, but she did a video about one of the daughter that is staying with her now through kinship placement. I don't use her kids' names on my channel, the ones that were adopted. I don't use their names, so I'm trying to, you guys will know what I'm talking about. The teenage girl is having a birthday coming up, and Alicia took the opportunity to tell everyone on YouTube that she was buying this girl a PS5 for her birthday because her mother sold it.
She was like, I really miss my PlayStation. She's like, I had a PlayStation, but then my mom sold it. She's like, I'm kind of a gamer girl. I was like, okay, a PlayStation. See, now we're talking. Now you're thinking of things that you need.
Why was that even necessary? So that you can paint the mother in a negative light, so that you can look like the hero because you're buying something that the mother allegedly sold? It's always this like, small comments and small little digs to put herself up on a pedestal, to make herself look better. And anyone that says that that's not true, I don't understand how it's not true, because she does take many opportunities to put herself in this good light. Look at all the good things that I'm doing for these kids. And as I've said before, I understand and I completely agree that adoption is very, very powerful and extremely meaningful for these kids. But it's also not and shouldn't be an opportunity to throw shade at the birth parents who might have been dealing with substance abuse disorder. They might have been dealing with some mental health issues, and you're using their downfall and their mistakes as a way to make yourself look even better. I'm sorry if this video is a little rambly, but I'm passionate about this subject because I don't ever want my channel to be painted in a light where anyone feels comfortable calling CPS. I've always been very much against it. I've always been very vocal about that, and I will never be for it. And as I've said, there are very, very few circumstances where we should be going real life, and that is if you see animal abuse, child abuse, domestic violence, any type of assault on video. Absolutely. Those are things that need to be reported. But just because we're talking about family vloggers and the morals that they don't have, that does not equate to using CPS's time and resource. So this comment came from Kelly, and I will block out her last name, but she said, if you have a problem with the Dougherty family, maybe you should discuss it with them or report to Child Protective Services if you think there's a problem. So let's address the first part of her comment where she says, discuss it with them. I'm not here to discuss problems with other YouTubers. I have a commentary channel and I talk to my community about it. If you're putting out public content, I'm going to put out public commentary on the public info. I'm not digging into people's personal lives. I'm not going behind the scenes and trying to, uncover some kind of crazy headline story about anyone. You put out public content. I put out a video discussing that public content, and I have a conversation with my community about it. I'm not here to seek anyone's approval, and I'm not here to talk to any of these family vloggers behind the scenes or influencers. If they just so happen to come across my video They might watch it, they probably won't. But as I said, I'm here to have conversations with those that want to listen. And if you don't want to listen, that's okay too. I'm not here to take it personally or, become vindictive or mean or anything like that. I deliver my videos from a very level-headed stance. I'm not here to bully, shame, drag, annihilate, embarrass anyone. I'm here to give an opinion on your public content that you put out yourself. The second part with the CPS thing, I think I made myself clear earlier in this video, but there's nothing to report to CPS when it comes to Alicia. So I'm not going to ever go real life when there's no actual facts or evidence to back up putting in a claim with any, authority figure like them. And I also go back to the fact that CPS should be reserved for dealing with children that actually need them. At this point in time, based on what we've seen, there is nothing going on in that home that I know of, that I've seen, that would call for anyone to want to go real life. We have conversations here. We talk about it. Reddit talks about it. People on TikTok are talking about it. She's a topic of conversation for good reason. She's putting out very problematic content. She is exploiting her children's medical issues and everything else. She's over here building inappropriate parasocial relationships with people like Auntie Lauren, and I'm here to talk about it. That is our right as commentary channels to react to public content from other creators. And I talk about it all. Talk about influencers, family vloggers, everything in between. And no matter who I talk about on my channel, I am not ever going to encourage my subscribers to go real life. We're not here to be like Dad Challenge podcast where we're sending people to the Moss's business or saying that we're going to pick it outside of someone's home. We don't do that. We have more class than that. And we're here to have a conversation about it. So either way, before this video gets too long and too repetitive, I am going to wrap it up. So let me know what you guys think about this whole comment and everything in this video. I can't wait to hear from you. So for now, if you liked the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.